You have some canned foods that are one-pot meals in your Prepper Pantry so that your family can have something to eat during times of true survival situations. So do you have any of these kinds of foods in your Prepper Pantry? No. No, not that. No, not a bucket of wheat. No, not oats. No, not pancake mixes. No, none of those ready-to-eat things in a bag, just add water. Those are all good foods to have on hand, but they all require some kind of processing or cooking and so forth. But I'm talking about foods that don't require processing or cooking. So do you have any of these kinds of foods in your Prepper Pantry? No, not just veggies. No, not just beans. Not just fruits. Not just meats. Those are all foods that you can eat right out of the can, but they're not full meals. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. One-pot meals like those that are readily available, easy to heat, easy to cook, and more importantly, you can also eat them right out of the can without any heating, without any cooking. Sound good? I highly suggest that after this video, check this video out where I look at all types of canned food as a source of survival food. Let's define what it is that we're talking about and why this doesn't qualify as a one-pot meal, or this, and why this one does. So what makes this a one-pot meal and the others not? Number one, got to be high in calories. Number two, it's got to have all three of the macronutrients. That's protein, fats, carbohydrates. Doesn't necessarily have to be the most nutritious, but remember, we're talking about true survival situations when your attention needs to be on things other than cooking, but you still need to eat. And number three, they need to be ready to eat right out of the can. So there's the three criteria. High calories, all three macronutrients, and ready to eat out of the can. No heating, no cooking, no nothing. At the end of the video, I'll show you my choice of the ones that we look at. First type or category that we're going to consider is chili. And chili will come with beans or without beans. It will also come, of course, with meat and without meat, or plant-based. And when it comes to the meat, you can get beef, chicken, turkey, and of course you can also get it with a mixture or with pork. Chili without meat, it's going to be soybean based. Your typical chili with beans. Calories per serving, 290, 14 grams of fat, 29 grams of carbs, 13 grams of protein. Not too bad, and it has all the macronutrients that we're looking for. Our next category of canned one-pot meals for survival foods is going to be soups. The soups typically won't have as many calories per can or per serving as the others, but perhaps they will have more nutrition. So you have calories on one hand and nutrition on the other, but you're still going to get both from each type and all the types that we're going to look at. Of course, there's probably a larger variety of soups than any other kind of canned food out there. This type, which is coconut based, it's going to have a lot more fat. Most of the other soups are going to have more carbs than they do the fats or the protein. And if you're a steak and potato kind of guy or gal, they even have a steak and potato soup. Let's look at the nutrition on one of these. All right, per can, 170 calories, fat, 5 grams of fat, 23 grams of carbs, 7 grams of protein. And of course, the soups come in low sodium or high sodium, although I don't think they market it as that, but You know what I mean.
Hey, if you're getting useful information from this video and you like it, please give it a thumbs up.
Our next category of canned one-pot meal survival foods are going to be the pasta with meat. These all happen to be the same brand, but there are many different brands out there. The most popular that I'm aware of is some type of ravioli, which you can get in beef ravioli, chicken ravioli, you can get it regular size, or mini ravioli, chicken Alfredo, beefaroni. Of course, there's spaghetti and meatballs. So now let's look at the nutrition label. And we'll look at your typical beef ravioli. Calories per can, 320. Total fat, 8 grams. Carbohydrates, 52 grams. And protein, 9 grams. For comparison, this is the beefaroni, this is the beef ravioli. 320 calories per container or per can for the ravioli. 2 servings per can, 250 calories, so 500 calories per can as compared to 320. So total fat, remember this is 2 servings, so it's going to be 18 grams of fat per can. Carbs is 32 grams, so 64 grams of carbs per can as compared to 52 grams. Protein is 9 grams per serving or 18 grams per can. And this was 9 grams per can. Even though they're both pasta with meat, in this case they're both beef, there is quite a bit of difference in the number of calories, the grams of protein, the grams of fat, grams of carbs between the two. This one has a lot more per can. They are both the same size can. So if pasta and meat is your thing, you got lots of choices, but there can be big differences between one type and another type of pasta, even though they're the same brand. Keep that in mind as you stock your Prepper Pantry with your favorite pasta and meat. Our next category is going to be bean meals. They typically are going to have meat with them. Everybody's familiar with the beanie weenies. And there's 3 different flavors. We saw these, but chili typically is a bean type meal. Has meat in it, of course, and you can get the chili again without the meat. Still got bean meals. And then here's one that you guys might not be familiar with. And this one in particular is wild tuna white bean salad. These type meals are very good, I think, and very healthy. So the bean type meals, let's check one of those out. Calories, 260. That's for the can. Total fat, 8 grams of fat, 33 grams of carbs. Some of that is sugar. And 13 grams of protein. So that's quite a bit of calories with all the macronutrients in a small can. The 5th category of one-pot meal survival foods are what I call meat meals. Corned beef hash, tamales, and you can get these in varieties of different shapes and sizes of the actual thing and different meats, but this one happens to be chicken in chili sauce. And then this is a tuna pasta salad. So there are 3 different types of meat meals. The nutritional label, corned beef hash, which is, of course, beef, rehydrated potatoes is the main ingredients. 2 servings per can. Calories would be 740, I do believe. 50 grams of fat, 40 grams of carbs, and 32 grams of protein. That's 2 servings, but that's for the can. Pretty high calorie, high fat, high protein. Good food right there for survival and emergencies. That one's going to lean more towards if you are just out for calories with all 3 of the macronutrients. This one's going to be more so if you're looking primarily for nutrition. 300 calories, 15 grams of fat, 25 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbohydrate, 17 grams of protein. Pretty high calorie, small amount of food. A little more nutritious. There are 3 examples. Our 6th category would be everything else or etc. And this would include the things like beef stew, chicken and dumplings. That one is beef and barbecue sauce. It does have all 3 macronutrients, although the carbs are from sugar, but they're there. Probably the least nutritious of nearly everything we've looked at. And this one, I'm not sure about including it in this, but together it does make a meal. It is intended to eat right out of the can without heating or cooking. The only thing is the fat portion of it is going to come from the mayonnaise, and that's not going to store as long as all the stuff in the cans. But if you're a person or a family that practices rotation, then that's an option for you to have on hand for the type of events that we're talking about, true survival situations. It has the meat, the fats, and the carbs. So that is the etc. category. Here are 6 examples of one-pot meals ready to eat that would be very handy in a true survival situation. So which one of these would be the best? If flavor and taste is your top priority, then each one of you watching is probably going to pick a different one. So if calories is your primary target, this one, the chili, the beefaroni, and the beef stew, they all come in at somewhere a little over 500 calories per can. But the corned beef hash has 740 calories per can. So if calories is your primary target, that would be your choice. If nutrition and health is your primary concern, that's all organic, including the chicken, which is supposed to be free range. That is all organic except for the tuna, which is wild caught skipjack tuna, which is the least contaminated of the tunas. So for nutrition, that one or that one, probably this one first, this one a close second. For me personally, I choose that one. So which one do you guys choose? Do you have a different one-pot meal that is your favorite? And did I leave any categories out? I would like to hear from you guys about those things. So there we have one-pot meals in a can to store in your Prepper Pantry for true survival situations.